What's going on, Falcon fan? This your boy Rakundo coming back at you with another video. Had a great bye week. I decided to take the week off along with our Atlanta Falcons, trying to refresh, get back in for this last home stretch of the last game, seeking the Falcons kind of get themselves back to where they need to be, to see can they get into the playoff push. Everything is still in front of them, just like we talked about, you know, before we went into the bye. But Atlanta Falcons really got to, address a lot of things that they need to work on before we get into the bye, coming out the bye. Of course, it is hate week. It's Ain'ts week, guys. We got to try to get this W so we can take control over the NFC South. Atlanta Falcons currently undefeated in NFC South, so hopefully these guys can get in and try to make some noise. That's what we're hoping. That's what we like to see. That's what we hoping we could get to see from our Atlanta Falcons this week. Of course, everybody heard the news by now. Desmond Ritter is back up on the center. We're going to talk about that. We also going to talk about the injury report. Parker Hesse, getting coming off IR, what that means for the Atlanta Falcons offense. A couple more injuries we're going to report. Then we're going to get into the issues that need to be addressed coming out of the bye. It's a lot of issues, in my opinion, that they need to cover stuff. Some things that start to rear head going into the bye week. That definitely Atlanta Falcons. Hopefully, their coaching staff, kind of cleaned up on and try to tweak, see can we get some things going. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Atlanta Falcons able to do coming out the bye. Big game for Atlanta Falcons. If they lose this game, they pretty much be down 2 games behind the Ain'ts. That's not what we want. So we got to be able to continue to be undefeated in the NFC South and, pretty much control our own destiny to get ourselves into the postseason. So, guys, with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know that I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys out here that I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. Like I said, guys, it's going to be hype this week. Going back in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, it's going to be hype. This game means more than a lot of other games because it's the Ain'ts, of course. We got that brotherly hate love relationship going on with the Ain'ts. We can't stand them; they can't stand us. It's a lot of storylines that are going on. You got Terry Fontenot, you got Dave Amiyata, you got Caden Ellis, you got Ryan Nielsen, all those guys coming over from New Orleans, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see, this chess match we're going between, all those guys. Also trying to see what our offense can kind of produce coming out, going back to Desmond Ritter. So we're going to talk about all that today. But first of all, guys, we're going to get into the first topic. And like I said, it is hate week, right? It's Ain'ts week. That's what it's all about. We always start there. Like I said, sometimes when the Falcons used to suck, I won't even lie to you guys. If we beat the Ain'ts during the season, I used to be happy. So that's one thing that you gotta love. Just to beat these guys. Um, when the Atlanta Falcons had bad seasons, we beat the Saints. Man, we actually kind of felt good about our season. So um, this is a big game, and that's what we like to see, right? Currently, right now, the record is. Let's see what the record is between these guys because it's really um, a really close record between these guys. Right now, 108 meetings. 108 meetings. Listen to this. We are 54 and 54. We are tied. So this would like essentially break the tie as we stand this week going into Sunday. So it's huge. It's really huge. We got to get this win. And it has so many implications, right? Because this right here will be for first place in the NFC South, right? And then whoever wins this game pretty much really can control their own destiny going forward, right? Still got to win your other games, but if you win this game, you the sole possession in NFC South. Of course, we'll be tied with the record, but because we undefeated in the division, we will be the number one seed going there. And honestly, that's probably the only way the Atlanta Falcons probably can get into the playoffs right now because we currently sit like 10th in the NFC since we lost to the Vikings. Um, and then I think the Packers who's at 4-6 as well, have a better NFC records than us. So right now we're kind of sitting outside looking in. So if we don't get, the division, it might be hard for us to get their wild card spot. So the most important thing for the Atlanta Falcons, and everybody knows, you win the division, you're already in the playoffs, and guess what? You host the first playoff game. So on wild card weekend. So just get in. That's all we need to think about. But we need to just focus on this week, right? Everybody knows back in the days, the Ain'ts used to wear bags over their, the fans used to wear bags over their heads, and they used to call themselves the Ain'ts. That's why I call them Ain'ts. They started it first, but the whole Sean Payton, Drew Brees era kind of changed the narrative around these guys, and their defense really been good over the last 15 years per se. So you got to tip your hat off to the way they turned a franchise around. Only won Super Bowl during that time, but you know they start to kind of pull up, come catch back up with Atlanta Falcons in the win column. Thus, the record where it's 54-54 right now. So this is a big week. Um, I could see a lot of fanfare. I know our fans gonna show up, but guess what? Their fans gonna show up too. There's a lot of Ain't fans in Atlanta, and they're gonna come out deep just like they always do. They probably gonna bring buses from New Orleans to come up and watch the game as well. So this is a big game for both teams. It's going to be interesting to see how it's going to turn out. I'm going to get into my keys to victory on Wednesday. Not going to do that today. Just getting back into the swing of things. So look out on Wednesday. You'll see me guys go my keys to victory. But what I really want to talk about today is just the whole ideal of this week. All right. It's the first game of this rivalry. Of course, we play them the last game of the season. Hopefully, by then the division will be decided. We're not 100% sure, but hopefully by week 18, the division be decided. That game don't mean as much, but we still want to win, right? So we go down to the Superdome in New Orleans. We still want to win that game. But guys, this is a big week. We need all the fans to come out, show the support. I know everybody is kind of ticked off by how our last three games kind of ended. Of course, we lost three in a row, right? However, right, that's why we needed to buy. We need to all reset, get our minds right, come back in, get motivated, get behind this team, and see what this team can do. Right, that's what I'm hoping we get from this Atlanta Falcon team, and I hope you guys like to get the same thing. So that's that's just straight up awesome, guys. 54-54. That's it's a big game. So let's see. Love to hear you guys' thoughts on that about the Aints. Any memories you got on the game? I remember when the Aints had a little down year, and we had Matty Ice here, Devontae Freeman, and we used to bust their ass, man. But one thing about this rivalry in this game is that it always come. It's really a close game, not really a blowout. Even when we both teams actually sucked when we was part of the NFC West, right? Um, this game used to always be nip and tuck. So no matter what the records are, no matter if the Aints playing good and the Falcons playing good, usually this game is really really good. We good rivalry game. Like I said, I love the atmosphere when we play these guys, and I hope our guys are ready to go. It's really interesting that both teams are coming off a bye, so like nobody's really getting an advantage there. So this is going to be interesting to see how this thing turns out. I can't wait to Sunday. Let's get it going for the Aints. But guys, that's all my thoughts on Aints week. Love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think about the New Orleans Aints. All right, let's get into the next topic. Next topic, real quick. We're gonna go over the quick injury report. Parker Hesse is being brought back off the IR. Going to the practice squad. Interesting to see how they utilize him. I'm pretty sure they might elevate him this week. You know how Arthur Smith loves his tight end, so bring in to add to the running game. Parker Hesse played a big factor in the run game last year for us. So I'm really going to be interested to see how we utilize Parker Hesse. If they decide to activate him and bring him back to the practice, out the practice squad and elevate him. Also, Taylor Heineke did not practice today from hamstring injury. Arthur Smith mentioned that it'll be interesting to see how they utilize him if he's able to come back. If not, of course, we have our third string quarterback that's going to be able to come up and be the backup in case something happens to our Carlin and Desmond Ritter. But also Mac Hollins is still nursing an ankle injury, so he was not out at practice today. So we just have to wonder that. Archibald said good chance he could come back. We just have to see how the week goes. However, David Amiyata and the offer are both back. Their ankle injuries that they had in the game against the Cardinals. So both of those guys will be back. We need David back, of course. Um, going back up against the Ain'ts, and we'll see, how this thing pan out. But that's our injury report right now. We'll probably hear more on Wednesday to see who's in, who's out. But not too bad. Look like the Atlanta Falcons going in healthy. Of course, the guys that it's going to be out for the rest of the season, guys like Grady and things like that, we won't be able to see those guys. All right, all right, all right. That's the injury report. Now let's get into what everybody wants to talk about, and that is Desmond Ritter back up under center. So this is right here. This right here is really interesting when you're looking at a guy like Dez coming back. Yep, I'm calling him Dez. Um, I don't really know what to think about the decision to go back to Desmond Ritter. I think they really didn't have a choice. Of course, right now Taylor Heineke look like he won't even be available this week anyway. But if you're just putting both um, guys on the film, if you look at what both guys did from perspective from what Desmond Ritter did and Taylor Heineke did, I thought Des better. Just too many mistakes that he made, too many turnovers, those things that really hurt the Atlanta Falcons in some games. But I think going back to Desmond Ritter is probably the smartest thing that Arthur Smith can do because of his situation himself being a coach. First of all, we really need to find out you know what kind of guy Desmond Ritter, what kind of player he really is, right? Um, we got a sample size. We know he has the potential. If you take away the turnovers, like I said, I thought Desmond Ritter played a pretty good set of games this season. But if you take away those turnovers, really hurt us, and that's why, in my opinion, they decided to go with Taylor Heineke in those last two games. But you know, sitting down, looking at the game from a different point of view, hopefully that's what Desmond had a chance to do, and come out and understand that protecting the football is really the the most important thing for your team. If you do this, um, and continue to play the way you were playing, the Atlanta Falcons, you know, can go on this run that we need the Atlanta Falcons to go on. One thing about this NFL season, and if you look around, and it's not just the Atlanta Falcons, but it's a trend that's going around, and it's bad play calling and bad quarterback play, right? So those things contribute to losing, right? And if you just look at it a whole, the NFL, if you look around teams and you look at bad play calling, you look at the Steelers, you look at the Jets, you look at the Broncos trying to turn around, but you look at the teams like the Broncos, um, and then you look at the Panthers, right? Then you look at bad quarterback play. You look at the Panthers. You look at the Falcons. You look at the Jets. You look at the Steelers. Um, you look at the Bears, right? All these things is, you got not so good play calling, don't know how to utilize your talent that you have, and then bad quarterback play. Those two things does not match, right? And that's kind of what we were seeing with the Atlanta Falcons, right? We came into this season and we definitely like the pieces that we had, right? Go back. We all agree with this. We got a talented roster. If you look at the skill players from an offensive standpoint, But the guys like Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Edger, Cordell Patterson, John Smith, Mac Hollins, um, Scotty Miller, Van Jefferson, right? We have the weapons galore. We got Michael Pruitt. We have the weapons galore. But if you don't know how to utilize it and employ those guys, and the quarterback don't know how to deliver the ball to those guys, this is what you get. This is the product of what we see from an offensive standpoint, and it's not been up to par, right? When you have that many talented players on your team, and um, you still can only manage 21 um, less than 21 points a game, that's not a good, you know, situation. And then, like I said, you compound that with a young quarterback who turns the ball over. It's just not a good recipe for success. And that's why the Atlanta Falcons are 4-6. So it's going to be important for Desmond Ritter to 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 be able to protect the ball, and it's going to be really important for Arthur Smith to see can he get these guys, come up with a game plan to utilize the talent that he has on this offense. It should be no excuse that you could find a mismatch. And we talked about this beginning of the season. It should be no excuse that you should be able to identify mismatches each play because you have so many guys that's going to create that. And we're not taking advantage of it. It's just not where it be. Like Atlanta Falcons want to be a running team. I don't know. Do they want to be a passing team? I don't know. You thinking they want to be balanced, but you're not 100% sure what the Atlanta Falcons want to do. We do know they have the weapons, though. We do know they have the talent. Go look around the fan base and see how many guys who want a Cordell Patterson. We know the Cowboys are looking for it. People kept throwing out trades for the Cowboys. For Kyle Pitts, how many guys who would love to have Kyle Pitts on their roster? A guy like Drake London that's just a straight up baller, gonna go out and fight for every ball that get thrown his way, right? Tyler Algier, guy who ran 1,000 yards last year, right? These are the weapons that we have at our disposal, and we're just not utilizing them the right way. So it's going to be important, even though Ritter's back on the center. And like I said, both things got to come into play, right? We have to get better quarterback play, and specifically, I mean, don't turn the ball over. That's the key for Desmond Ritter. And then Arthur Smith got to be able to. Hopefully, he made the adjustment he need to make sure that he's starting to utilize the talent that he has to actually put up more points on the board. Right? That's where it lies. That's what we got to do. So um, I know they took a deep dive this bye week to look at the decision to go back to Desmond Ritter. Like I said, I think it's really the only decision you can make because you need to find out. I think it's important to find out. And Desmond Ritter, if once he play these last 7 games, because it's not going to be seesaw, it's going to be him for the rest of the season. Um, Pretty much have a whole season on his belt, and they can get a good idea where Desmond Ritter um, status is at quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. And the great thing about it is these are going to be meaningful games, right? This is not just games you're going to throw away. You go out, it don't matter. You're just trying out things. No, these games matter, and it starts on um on Sunday. And ironically, coming off a bye last season, yes, ironically coming off a bye last season, the Atlanta Falcons played the New Orleans Ain'ts. That was the first game for Desmond Ritter. Now, at that time, we was already in the playoffs, and Desmond Ritter just coming in for the 4 games. And, he was on the road, of course. I know you guys remember that game. And we actually had a chance to win. We actually had a chance to beat the Aints that game, right? Drake London don't fumble the ball. Maybe we go back down and take the lead and win that game. We don't know. But so it's interesting to see, you know, how they just you go back. He was out 2 weeks, coming back. So basically, he's starting again, coming off a bye, playing the Aints once again. Right? Can we have a um different results this time. I'm hoping we can. It's important, but you know, like I said, interesting that the way this season been going out across the entire NFL. Two things, two things: bad quarterback play and coaches don't know how to use their talent that they got on their team. Right? That's what we've been seeing around the league. Right? Um, bad quarterback play and offensive coaches just don't know how to utilize their talent. And we're going to see how bringing Des Ridder back, seeing Arthur Smith get it right. That's going to be interesting. So Deion Sanders and his son needs to come to Atlanta, break the curse, and win a Super Bowl. Imagine that, man. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. You know, the question I asked before I went on the bye here, I asked, are we cursed, right? Because the way the Atlanta Falcons lose games, man, it be so like you can write it in a book, right? It never is like simple, like they just get beat on a slant play or or something like that. No, we let the last two games losses we had, we let the quarterback make miraculous plays, to get his guys into scoring positions where they can win the game. Did it 2 weeks in a row. And it seems like it just happens to us. It's been happening a lot for the Atlanta Falcons, especially to the defense where we thought the defense was really playing well. So, um, are we cursed? I don't know, but at this point, we got 7 games. 7 games. If you said yes, we are cursed. Maybe we are, man. I don't know. I mean, maybe like everybody said, maybe we shouldn't have tore down the churches, and built the Mercedes-Benz Stadium over them. Maybe that's what the deal is. I have no idea, but we can break the curse this year, and it's up to Dez, and of course Arthur Smith, man. If those guys can come together like we thought, they should be able to come together, you know, this off season and get this thing going. You know, maybe Arthur Smith just is not the guy. They look at the numbers and I think the stat was only had like what 2 or 3 30-point games since he been offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. That's not good. That's not good at all. You can give him a mulligan for the first 2 seasons because we had the talent we had and things like that. But this season is just no excuse. Now, I am going to blame a little on the quarterback because, like I said, those turnovers are killers. So that's why Dez is going to be under pressure. He has to be able to protect the football. You cannot win when you don't get the quarterback to protect the ball. It's just that simple, and that's what we're having. That's what's happening to us. It's really killing us. Des Ridder got to protect the football. I think we should ask Kyle Pitts to do a lot of blocking in the trenches. What? Oh, we should. Oh, you said. Oh, I thought you said we should. You said we should not. Exactly. That's not his talent. I agree with you. You got all those other tight ends. You got Parker Hesse. You got Michael Pruitt. You got John Smith. John Smith probably ain't that blocker either. But like you got John Fitzpatrick, another tight end you got on the squad. Like utilize guys that's what they do. John Fitzpatrick, that's all he did at Georgia was block in the ring game, right? He probably had like 15, 20 catches his whole career at Georgia. But you bring him here and you don't even utilize him. See that's what I'm talking about. Just not utilizing the talent that you got. Kyle Pitts should not be a blocking tight end. He shouldn't be a decoy either. Like he's really taking coverage away from guys. No, he should be the guy that getting the ball. So like exactly, Kyle Pitts should not be blocking. No way since the beginning. Oh, True. You are right. We have never really been good, right? And Atlanta Falcons hold another historic note as well, where we're the oldest professional sports team to never have won the championship. Yep, we hold another record. That's what we do, man. Be an Atlanta Falcon fan, and see that's why when people go out on X or whatever they call it now and say we need to you know to boycott the Atlanta Falcons and all that stuff. I'm like, why now? We've been like this for years. I mean, it's almost going on a decade, and we've been to the playoffs twice. Almost in a decade, we only been to the playoffs twice. We've been over 500 twice in almost a decade. So let's just put that in perspective. So if you all of a sudden want to boycott them on the Falcons, like why now, right? Like don't make sense. I mean, you're Atlanta Falcon fan. I can tell you, after what I just said, after almost 10 years and we only got two winning seasons, um, over 500, and you still a fan, you are a real diehard Falcon fan. So I'm glad to be here with you because I am too. And I just believe one day we're gonna get over the hump, right? But maybe we might have to start over again. I thought maybe this time was gonna be different with the new regime and things like that, but you know maybe we have to start over again. Chris says we almost beat Dallas to go to the Super Bowl. San Francisco got Montana, and they never had a chance. Yep. You know what? We almost beat San Francisco to go to the Super Bowl too, 2012. But that was a pass interference. We gonna talk about that because we did blow a 17-point lead. It was 17-0 going into the second half. So you know, just like we blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. So hey, we always make it spectacular for the other team to have some historic moments, right? That's what we do. That's the Atlanta Falcons for you. But guys, in the end, Des Ritter's back. Like I said, they had no choice to go back. Taylor Heineke hurt anyway, but I think it's the best decision. Des Ritter, if you look at his numbers, just numbers, not the total game because the turnovers just is bad. Right? I think he before he went out, he led the lead in turnovers. So that's not good. But if you take away the turnovers, Des Ritter was playing decent decent quarterbacking. He was playing decent quarterbacking, but it don't really matter how good the quarterback is if the plays being called don't get not designed to get the players that need the ball in their hands to be dynamic and successful. Just go look and see how Kyle Shanahan utilized the San Francisco 49er players, right? We just as talented as that team, right? With Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, right? We got ourselves a Christian McCaffrey, right? We got ourselves a George Kittle. We got a Ayuk, right? We got a Debo and Cardell. We got the pieces, right? But we just can't get it done. And like I said, it's two things for our offense. The offensive line is up and down. Yes, it is, but it's the quarterback and the play calling. That's what it boils down to. Dez, protect the ball. Arthur Smith, freaking get out your own way and freaking utilize your talent that you have. That's if we do those two things, you know, don't matter who's on the center. Dez come back, he plays well. We'll be right. We need to be. He says. Then we got D Hun, but Chris Miller was a joke for a quarterback. Never got there. Yeah. You know what, man? I like the Chris Chandler though. Chris Chandler, I thought he was a decent quarterback, man. That's how we got to the 98 Super Bowl. Chris Chandler, Terry Masters, those boys, that defense with Chuck Smith, man, I liked that team. Mr. Dirtyberg himself, Jamal Anderson. I really liked it, like the 98 team. We had a chance there. We know what happened with that. Didn't take it serious. Eugene Robinson go down there and start a whole another storyline before the Super Bowl. Then John Elway get his second Super Bowl. When he was a shell of himself, because that was really TD Terrell Davis' team at that time. Um, this game Sunday will let us know if the struggles so far this season have put us in a place to put it all together. We definitely going to see. They have no choice. And like this game right here, we're talking about Desmond Ritter. When I think about this game, I think it's really good because, like I said, it's a meaningful game. It's not a game where you can come out and make mistakes. You got to come out like it's a playoff type game. We're gonna coming off the bye, understanding that we could easily won our last three games. It's gonna be interesting to see how these guys, um, react coming off the bye. It's gonna be interesting. It's really gonna be interesting to see how these guys do their thing. You thought most of the Falcons will be forced we reckon with if they make the playoffs. Maybe, maybe. See, this is this is depending on how they look coming out this bye, right? Because I do believe the Atlanta Falcons have the offensive pieces. Now, like I said, quarterback is a question, play calling is a question. But if these guys can figure that piece out, and I'm not expecting Desmond Ritter to come out and be, Matty Ice or anything like that. But just don't turn over the ball, man. Give your team a chance to win the game. Protect the football. If you do that, and Arthur Smith start to utilize his talent, I think we got a chance. But that's all depends. So if we can turn this thing around in that 7 games, the Falcons can have potential to be a force within the playoffs. Because it's all about just getting there. And if you get there, it's any given Sunday. Remember, if we win our division, we get that first home game. So that's going to give us momentum there. We got the show, and our strong safety got busted. Yep. Eugene Robinson. He sure did. Sure did. There's a lot going on in that Super Bowl, man. Remember Ray Lewis got some charges for killing somebody in that Super Bowl. There's a lot going on down there. Maybe not going to Miami was just probably shouldn't have did that for the Super Bowl. Maybe might have had a chance. This is the first time Ritter's football career that he has been mediocre. It has been mentally new for him. Yeah. Now, one thing we can say about Ritter, which is what you like to see in any professional player, is the confidence. I don't think his confidence is shaken, right? I think he is confident. He really believes that he can get this shit done, right? It's still to be seen. We ain't seen it, right? But if he can get it done, that would be good. So we're going to see. We definitely going to see. Darmar says, I agree. I believe this team can be extremely dangerous in the tournament. Yes. They just need to get to the tournament, man. They need to get there. If they get to the tournament, that means they turn it around, right? That means that they start to show the things that we all thought. And like, I'm not even talking about from the defensive standpoint. I'm talking about from an offensive standpoint because, like, when you got the weapons that we thought we had on offense, we just ain't seen it. And if they start to put all that together, yes, man, they can definitely be something special here. But they got to do it, man. They got to put it together. We have 24-point lead and lose. Okay. I'm sorry. It's my turn to freak. Hey, look. Ain't nothing we can do, man. I hate reliving bad Falcons moments because the Falcons moments are so bad. and you guys can relate to this. The Falcons moments are so bad that you can remember where you were when they start to bring it up, right? You'd be like, "Yeah, I remember that because I was at this place." Because that's how bad it wasn't like a regular loss, right? It was like something that they probably gonna write in the history books and be like, "Yeah, the Atlanta Falcons did this." Like I knew exactly where was when onside kick and the Atlanta Falcons just let the ball roll and nobody jumped on it, and they let the other team jump on it. I still remember that. I remember I was when Todd Gurley was told not to score by Matt Ryan, and he still scored against the Lions, and they came back and won the game. I remember I was when they didn't call that pass interference in 2012 in the NFC Championship game. I remember that. Um, I remember where I was in '98 when we lost that Super Bowl. I definitely remember where I was when we lost the Super Bowl. This 2016. I definitely remember that. I remember that Julio wasn't able to catch that ball in Philly, right? In the divisional round against because he had his feet in, he just didn't catch it and bring it in. That's been a miraculous catch. So all these moments that the Atlanta Falcons have, you know, could have did something special. I remember where I was when it happened, and that's bad. That's sad, man. It's the greatest NFL Super Bowl comeback. Yes. Yo. You know what? I have never, and this is true, guys. I have never watched the end of the Super Bowl. That Super Bowl. When Tom Brady won the coin toss, I left. I still haven't seen it. I still haven't seen it. When he won the coin toss in 2016 Super Bowl, I didn't I don't know how it ended. I just know we had lost. I did I so I, I don't even know I don't even want to know about it. I heard what happened, but I have never seen it. Like, and I don't want to see it. I got to hear that over and over. Yeah, yeah, man, they still clowning us about it now. And you know what? We should be clowned. 28-3 with 15 minutes left. Yeah, so like I haven't, I still don't know. Like I never seen it. Didn't see it live. Maybe seen the clip somewhere. You know, I think somebody scored right, like a running back or something. I don't know. I don't care. But I know when he got the coins tossed, we was gonna lose. That's what I know. So I didn't. I just left. I didn't go to work the next day because I knew that I was gonna get creamed at work. But they waited to Tuesday, so they waited till that Tuesday and they still got me. But see, we bringing up bad memories, man. We bringing up bad memories. All right, guys, but please give me thoughts on Ritter coming back as a starter. Um, I think it was the right decision. Probably the best quarterback on the team, even though Taylor Heineke, you know, is a veteran and he definitely had um, opportunities to make something happen. But um, I thought Ritter just ran the offense better. He said throw the VCR tape away. Right. Guys, the last thing we'll talk about today is issues. So I kind of went over the offensive issues a lot. What the Atlanta Falcons need to do. Um, but I'm just going to elaborate just a little bit more about what I think they should do from an offensive standpoint. They need to decide they're going to be a running team or not. They're going to run the ball. Um, and play it that way. Like do it like you kind of did with Mariota last year. Like run first team and try to get in third and manageable downs, and then you make your throws. Right? Maybe that eliminates some of Desmond Ritter mistakes. Maybe that's what should happen. Or you can go the total opposite and spread it out, open it up, and throw the ball all over because you do have weapons. Um, I think their strength is the run game. I think their offensive line strength is the run game. So um, these are some issues they need to address. Though, what are they going to kind of identity do they want to establish coming out? What kind of team, offensive team, the Atlanta Falcons want to be in this second half? Coming off the bye, these last 7 games. So that's going to be interesting. We definitely need to see what the Atlanta Falcons decide to do from an offensive standpoint. Um, did Arthur Smith tweak, his play calling? Is he stop being so stubborn? Do he just make it simple? I got guys. That's my goal is players over scheme instead of scheme. They got to fit my scheme. No, players over scheme. Get your players the ball. So hopefully, that's something that Art Smith does from an offensive standpoint. So that's one of the issues that we definitely going to find out real soon here on Sunday. Did offense tweak anything, get any better? Did they come out refreshed and start to get the ball moving? Right. From a defensive standpoint, can the defense find its identity back? Right. The last 3 games, our defense didn't look like the defense in the first 7 games. They really didn't. They did not look like the defense in the first 7 games. The last 3, right? Um, they can go back to that Tennessee game. We gave up so many explosive plays in that game. I mean, Will Levis didn't even play well. I know everybody looked like he played like lights out, but really he just threw 3 deep bombs and they beat us on it. Um, and then they gotta score off of a turnover, right? But if you take away those 3 deep bombs, um, that's one of the things. So did they address giving up too many big plays, right? Did they address the tackling issue that they had these last 3 games? Because it's been a big issue for the Atlanta Falcons, especially these running quarterbacks. So, from a defensive standpoint, did they address that? That's one of the things we definitely going to see on Sunday. The biggest thing that I think the factor that for me on defense is, the absence of Grady Jarrett. Have they adjusted to that yet? Grady went out in the Tennessee game, right? And he was out in the Vikings game and he was out in the Cardinals game. And I just believe if Grady was in that game, I think Josh Dobbs would have got taken down. I just think Kyler Murray wouldn't have did what he did. So, the absence of Grady is huge. And that's one of the things we definitely gotta address how they play without Grady Jarrett. Remember, Grady haven't missed a lot of games. I think he had only missed like 1 game his entire season since he's been in the Falcons. So he's the heart and soul, losing our heart and soul, and trying to figure it out. Had they addressed that issue? Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. I hope I didn't miss anybody. But let's see what we got here from the XA cute play. Yeah, they definitely need to stop that. They look like they don't know what to do. He does look like that. He like he lost, man. Like he don't know how to get the offense going. I agree with you, 100%. Um, Tyler Edwards need to start and set the tone. Okay, okay. So you said they need to go ahead and just be ground and pound. Maybe that will work. Maybe that will work. Maybe that will work. Um, but just to finish my thought about the defense, can they get their mojo back? That's going to be huge, man. Can the Atlanta Falcons get their mojo back? That's what we want to see. Hopefully they do. Um, because if they do, all bets are off, right? They got to learn how to play without Grady, which is huge. But if they can get their mojo back, that's going to be great. And then from a special team standpoint, um, our return coverage is not been good the last couple of games. It's really been hurting us. We got to be able to get guys down on punt return. Punt return in particular has been really bad for us. And then our punt, um, um, our we can't return ourselves. That's the biggest issue, right? You know, don't see how big the miss for Avery Williams was, but looking at it now, um, he led the league in return yards last year, and just him being out, it don't seem like it's a big deal, but I think it really is. Our return game has not been good this year. We haven't seen Cordell Patterson return too many kickoffs, but because the whole rule, like, you get the ball at 25-yard line anyway, so um, but maybe they need to spice it up a little bit. Let CP start trying to bring that thing out of the end zone. Um, let's try to do something in the return game to try to get this thing going. But you know, three phases of the game, special teams, especially in our kick coverage has not been good, and then our return game has not been where we need to be. So those are some of the issues. Hopefully they did it, like I said, did a deep dive, looked into what they need to do, and if they did some of those things, I think they'll be better off for it. So let's hope that this is something that the Atlanta Falcons can fix. Going into hate week, that's what we got to see. So, guys, definitely want to hear from you. Once again, sorry about the delay, getting kicked out. The screen looked like a lot of people left. So, that's okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and end now. But in the end, these are some of the things we definitely want to see. Like I said, it's hate week. Get ready. Be at the dome. Be ready to go. Um, we got young Desmond Ritter back up under center. Just don't turn over the ball, young guy. Let's do your thing, man. Let's try to keep this thing up, and let's see that Arthur Smith work on some of his issues that he got out there. Um, with the play calling and things like that, getting your guys involved. I think I say it's simple, maybe because as fans, we were like, man, just get the ball to this guy. That's this, that's when we looking at it, like, just get the ball to the guy. Well, it's a lot more to it than that. I get it. The defense has to say, um, the ball, the defense kind of dictates where the ball goes. I get it. I understand all that stuff, but that's why you scheme your guys. Like I said, guys over scheme. So you scheme the guys to get open, right? You got to anticipate, right? If they do this, I'm gonna do this. If they do this. Like I said, like Ikri said, they look lost out there, right? That's not what you want. You don't want to be lost. So let's see, can these Atlanta Falcons, you know, get this ship right, man. We got to get a win. Especially, I don't want to lose to the Ain'ts anyway. Like, that'll ruin my day, right? It was a good week because we didn't have to worry about the Atlanta Falcons. It's kind of boring, to be honest with you. Kind of missed them a little bit, but back this week, and I don't want to go into coming off a bye and losing to those guys. Don't want to lose to those guys. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Can't wait. Definitely going to be out there on Sunday. But please come back on Wednesday when I do my keys to victory for this game. It's a huge game for the Atlanta Falcons. Playoff implications, in my opinion, must win, in my opinion. That's what they got to do. And hopefully they're looking at it in the same way. This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.